Hi, I'm Erin Brothers, Director of Music Ministry at Dixon United Methodist Church. Oh man, one more Lent that we can't spend together singing in person. If you've ever happened into one of our choir rehearsals, you know this is my favorite time of year for music. It tends to be dark and dense, full of metaphor and meaning. A lot of it is in a minor key, evoking a sadness and sometimes even anger as we approach the greatest sacrifice ever made for us. Perhaps my favorite of these is in our hymnal, number 289, if you have it lying around. It's called Ah, Holy Jesus. Down in the video description is a link to a video of one of my favorite artists, Sufjan Stevens, singing the hymn with the cast of Live from Here, which some of you may have listened to on NPR. You really should watch it because it always amazes me how you get a group of people from all backgrounds together and they still create beautiful music. All fangirling aside, this hymn gives me all the feels. The language is old, originally written in German in 1630 and translated into English in 1899. The first two verses are perhaps the hardest to read. Ah, holy Jesus, how hast thou offended, that we to judge thee have in hate pretended? By foes derided, by thine own rejected, O most afflicted. Who was the guilty? Who brought this upon thee? Alas, my treason, Jesus, hath undone thee. 'Twas I, Lord Jesus, I it was denied thee. I crucified thee. I would say these are the hardest to read because they force us to take responsibility for our part in Jesus' crucifixion. Jesus was innocent and holy, and yet people pretended to be powerful enough to judge. The end of the second verse makes it even more personal. I denied thee. I crucified thee. I wasn't physically there, but with every sin I commit, every judgment I make that says to another that I'm better or more worthy, it's like I hammered the nails myself. The third and fourth verses describe how God took action for us. Lo, the good shepherd for the sheep is offered. The slave hath sinned, and the son hath suffered. For our atonement, while we nothing heeded, God interceded. For me, kind Jesus, was thy incarnation, thy mortal sorrow and thy life's oblation, thy death of anguish and thy bitter passion for my salvation. God interceded in what would have been an eternal damnation for every person. God chose to send a son to live on earth, grow and learn, love and teach, and then die, all so we could have the grace to start anew. And in the final verse are the actions we should take in order to make Jesus' sacrifice have meaning. Therefore, kind Jesus, since I cannot pay thee, I do adore thee and will ever pray thee. Think on thy pity and thy love unswerving, not my deserving. Of course we didn't deserve Jesus' kindness, so all we can do now is do our best. Pray, listen to our hearts, and do what we feel God would want us to do. I love the music of Lent. Sometimes it's a downer to hear about Jesus' suffering, but without the minor chords, the darkness and death, we would never enjoy the bold, bright tones, the light and life of resurrection, and the unswerving love of Jesus.